Which is better, custom or stock? Hi, I'm Steve Luttrell, your hair loss consultant, and welcome to my channel, The Real Deal, where I talk about your hair loss, why you've lost your hair, and is there anything you can do to get it back. Today, we're going to talk about custom hair systems versus stock hair systems. Now, when ordering your new hair system, you go online or you call a studio or you go into a studio for a consultation to purchase your hair, whichever one of those things you're doing, and you're kind of given a choice sometimes of custom hair system or hairpiece or a stock hair system or hairpiece or wig. So, which one do you choose? Well, here I'm going to tell you the difference between custom and stock hair systems or wigs or hairpieces. The first thing you have to consider when ordering a custom hair system is what is your experience in creating or designing a hair system or a toupee or a wig? Do you know all the different factors? Because there's a lot of different factors on creating a hair system or a wig. Curl, density, base type, size, contours, hairline. Do you know all these things? Do you know the different colors that hair systems come in? Do you want one color, two colors, highlights, no highlights? Back to my question is, what experience do you have in ordering a custom hair system? Now, when I first got into the hair replacement industry, I knew nothing really about custom hair. Custom hair was the rage at the time. They liked the whole idea of creating a mold and a template and sending it off and telling you that this thing is going to be made just for you and individually it's just for you. And they built up a lot of excitement about a custom hair system. The problem with a custom hair system is the person that's designing it, whether it be you or a studio that you're going to get it made, do they know how to design a hair system? What is their experience? Are they selling you real? Are they selling you durability? What is it you're actually making? Which leads us to now communication. When you're communicating with that stylist or that hairdresser or the salesperson that's selling you a custom hair system, and whether that be in a studio that you're going to, a retail center, or whether you're going on Alibaba and buying hair, and you're dealing with somebody through an email, or you're calling them up on WhatsApp and speaking to a person over in Asia. So communication is really, really important, because you say tomato, I say tomato, right? And if you don't get this right, it's going to reflect in the end product not being correct. So communication is really, really important to make sure that you're relaying the information to the person that's putting the order together, or you have the knowledge when you're writing it down on the order sheet to make sure that it's the right information. Now, when I first got into the industry, again, custom was the rage. Everybody did custom. 99% of the studios out there sold custom hair to their clients. Me, I got very lucky. I was able to work for one of the manufacturers here in the United States and get a little bit behind the scenes. And I remember that there was a room that was all mistakes that Andy would own, and he was the owner of the company, and he would eat them. And if you didn't like it, you could send them back to him, and he was fine with that, and he guaranteed his work. but you can imagine just this room full of hair, and you'd open these boxes up and you'd see what they tried to create. And I'll give them a C plus, a B minus sometimes for creativity, but a lot of times, what you put in your head and what actually is practical and what actually works are way different from over here to over here. So, that communication and relaying that information to the factory is so important for what you're going to get, because the problem is once you've ordered this system, you now have to wait 6 to 8 weeks, they tell you. My experience is 6 to 10. So you've waited 2, almost 3 months for this custom hair system that you've ordered, with lots of anxiety and lots of anticipation of, is it going to come in right? I can't wait to get it. All these mixed feelings are coming out. And so finally it comes. You go to the studio or you go to your mailbox, wherever you get your hair, and you open it up and you go, what the beep? I didn't order this. This is not what I ordered. And again, that communication, it probably is exactly what you ordered. But in theory, in your mind, in your visual, it sure didn't look like that. Now that you've waited all this time for a mistake, now what do you do? The other scenario is that you get it and you open it up and it looks good. All right, this looks pretty good, right? So you get it on your head and you put it on your head and now you got to wear it. Here's the real test. Is the system going to last and the hair quality going to last as long as you have intended? Now, whether it's a monthly disposable or every 3-week disposable hair system, whether it's a 2-month or a 6-month hair system, only time is going to tell. So you've already put 2 to 3 months into this, and now you're going to put at least another month to 2, 3, whatever, again, depending on how long your hair system is meant to last, to find out whether or not it's going to last. Now, the most challenging part that I found in dealing with factories directly, especially years ago, is that now they've got to repeat or correct what they got wrong. If they can, if everything is right and the system is good and you like the way it looks, you send it back to China. You send the order back to China, or you go to your hair replacement studio and you tell them, yes, let's order this one again. And you wait another 2 to 3 months, and this time you get it and you put it on and it's curly. I didn't order curly. How come it's curly this time? Well, it could be a numerous of reasons. It could be that maybe you're really not ordering from the factory. Maybe you're ordering from a wholesaler that's buying from factories, and maybe he changed factories or the company changed factories that they're now using, or suppliers. So all these other factors come into play when you're ordering one by one by one. And again, you're talking to salesmen for the most part, and they're really there to close a deal, not really concerned about the long game of the game. These factors that are playing into this, that you have to either repeat or correct and still wait another 2 to 3 months, it can take 6 months to a year to find the factory or the manufacturer or even this type of hair system or the design of the hair system that is correct and right for you, if you don't have good communication and good skills on knowing how to create and design a hair system. The last thing about ordering custom is where it comes from. All hair comes from China. So you just can't take that hair system over to the factory or to the manufacturer and say, hey, and even your retailer here in America or in Europe that you're going to doesn't have that accessibility to just walk into the factory and the people in China and say, hey, look, this is not what I like. I want this to be a little bit this, and I want this to be a little bit that. You really don't have that opportunity to do that. Now, today you can with Skype and Zoom and all these different video conferencing, but you don't get the same effect as live and in person. You have to get the right camera angle for people to see, and it's only, it's very flat. It's not real three-dimensional. So again, when you have that complaint, the communication gap between here and there is really huge. So it might take you a while to get your answer and take you a while to get the right answer. Now, I'm not saying that custom is bad. I do sell custom hair, but that's not for everybody and really not for most people. So let's go on to stock. What is a stock hair system? Well, a stock hair system are systems that are pre-made with pre-made base designs and predetermined hair densities, wave, curl pattern, and colors. Basically, you can pretty much pull these off the shelf when needed. Now, that's not always true. Of course, the more popular systems go quicker. The less used systems, they don't make as many. And so again, the one big factor in stock is making sure that whoever your supplier is, whether it be a retail studio or salon, or whether it be Alibaba, that they have the inventory that you need to satisfy your needs of wearing hair, whether you're a monthly disposable or a 6-month wear of a hair system. Those are the factors that come in play with a stock hair system. All right. Now back to what I was saying, that you have all these different bases that they've used in the past, or maybe that the factories thought was a good idea or became quite popular because maybe one big studio in America was making lots of them like that. So maybe these people in Asia thought, this is really good, we'll make this one as a stock piece. So a stock idea of one size fits all is really what this is about. Now, as we know, one size does not fit all, and so it's very important that, again, that you're getting a stock hair system and a base and a density that does work for everybody. A lot of companies out there, again, do sell durability. I'm not a durability person. I don't like the look of wigs and thick hair pieces, and my clients don't like wearing them, and they don't like having to mess with them because they're just a lot of work, because there's just too much hair, and what do you do with all of it? And so it's just not easy for the client. It's not end user friendly. All right. So stock, again, is pre-made bases, designs that basically you can pull off the shelf. The hair length is also going to be predetermined. It's normally between 4 to 6 inches on men's and 14 to 18 inches on women's, depending on the type of wig or hair system it is. That's why personally I prefer stock for most of my clients. So once you determine what type of base you're going to order for your stock hair system, now you have to realize that the pictures that you see and what you're going to get is raw material. You're going to get 6 inches of hair. You're going to have no style to it. It's going to come looking kind of like a George Washington wig. It's got pin curls and it's been in a plastic bag. And so therefore, it has to be cut. It has to be thinned out. It has to be texturized, blended, all these different factors in order for it to really work. You just can't just take it out of the box and put it on your head. And even if you have a pre-cut system, there still has to be a little tweaking. Now the pre-cut systems, I question who does them and if they're going to be right or not. But the nice thing about stock is that most likely you're going to be able to get the repeat system over and over and over within reason. Nothing is perfect. These are handmade, one by one hairs being put into them. So they're very tedious. So you're never going to get exactly the same. But in stock, The idea is that, it's off the shelf, and if you want that skin-based 0.03, 0.05 hair system and your hair is brown and you're fine with just brown, then you know what? It's a one-size-fits-all. Perfect. And that's a great advantage to stock versus custom, that you don't have to wait this time to make sure that they're going to send it to you the same. And even after time, I've had a situation where all of a sudden my custom is not what it's been for the last 2 years. And, and I can't go over to China and, check them out. It's a 17-hour flight. So, who can do that, really? So again, stock works for most people most of the time. That's the advantage of stock. Now, for the salesman that's selling hair, stock doesn't sound as nice. It sounds kind of generic. But you know what? Generic's not always bad. Sometimes you get too fancy, it's not that nice. It's got too many bells and whistles, and it costs you a lot of money to fix it all the time, or it's always breaking. It's not practical. Less is more. And then, when it comes to sending it back. Now, if you're dealing with a company here in the United States or a wholesaler manufacturer in Europe that is the middleman, they're really not a factory making the hair systems, you're probably going to get a really good customer service most of the time with most of the companies that I've dealt with over the years, and I know. Your return's going to be quicker if it's here in the United States, or, but if you're already from Alibaba, again, you got to realize that it's on the other side of the world, possibly for you if you're in Americas. They kind of have you that you're not right in front of them. You can't really access them. So customer service doesn't have to be as quality. Communication's not as good. Again, you say tomato, I say tomato. So regionally, we're a little different in understanding each other. So these are all factors that factor in when ordering custom versus stock. And at the end of the day, you have to make your decision on what it is you're willing to do and go through in order to get your hair. So do you just take a chance, roll the dice, order custom, hopefully it comes in right in 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks? Hopefully the system lasts long enough for you to wear it for at least a month. It doesn't just fall apart. The hair quality is good, which they promised you. Or do you go for the true and tried stock that they make hundreds of these and send them out, and their consistency is pretty close, and you know exactly what you're getting. You know the base, and you know the density and the color and the wave, and all these factors are, again, they're pretty close. They're not going to be always exact, but a lot less stress. And again, if it's not right, or you rip it, or you tear it, or you decide to put highlights in it and you screw it all up, you can call them up and get a new one. Or your retailer, your salon can immediately get a new one to put back on your head. Of course, for a price. All right, guys, so that's our video today. Hope this answered some of your questions of stock and custom. If you have any questions about custom or stock and what's going to be best for you, let me know in the comment section below. If you liked what you saw today, give me that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm Steve Luttrell, your hair loss consultant, and this has been The Real Deal. Have a great hair day, guys.